Holy hell. Ladies and gentlemen, I was sent a document about 5 days ago, which I've had to do a lot of research to verify if this is actually true or not, and I think it is. Now, obviously, we know what the date is today, but yeah, this just needs to go out, because if it doesn't go out, I've been told that this it's going to be sent to other places, and they're going to put this out, so I want to be the first to break this. This is apparently the Overwatch Q2 2019 to Q2 2020 development roadmap. Now, I've gone over this before I made the video to look at some of the points on this, and this is mental. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go into detail on this. We're going to take a look at it. I think the best thing to do is just to zoom in. I mean, the first thing I did with this document, as you guys can see, like, I'm looking around and I'm looking for very basic stuff, like, in fact, do I have my pen? Hang on. Here we go. So, where's my pen thing? Yeah, very basic stuff like, is this aligned, right? Because you'd look for like little inconsistencies like that, especially on a graphic document like this, because, if that wasn't aligned, then yeah, probably it's not going to be actually real, because, well, Blizzard has got a high production value when it comes to a lot of stuff. So, like, the same thing we're going down here as well, like looking at all of this stuff, it's mental. But I guess what we should do then is take a look at this. I think the first place to start is what actually is Q2 to Q2. These are the segments of the year. Like, for businesses, they generally split things up like this. Like, wow, that is fat. Why is that so fat? You basically go from Q1 to Q4 throughout a year. Why is that so fat? I don't actually know. We've got a big fat pen. Okay, there we go. That should be better. Yeah, that's better. All right, so you generally go from Q1 to Q4. And in each quarter, you have to meet certain goals, you have to do certain things. And you can see what they've done is they broke the quarters down into months. So you get like Q2 is April, May, and June. And then you go forward into Q3, Q4, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I think let's just get stuck into this and let's take a look at it. So, I don't know, let's zoom in a bit more. So the first thing we've got here is in April, we're going to get Archives Cuba, April the 16th to May the 6th. Now, this is actually consistent with the leak, if you guys remember, when they accidentally updated the website, where they basically put the Retribution logo onto the website, and yeah, it gave us those dates. So that kind of gives it a bit of validity. Hybrid Havana. Now, this, I think, basically confirms what we expected. There is a Havana poster on the airport on Numbani, which was changed from, I think it was either a Hanamura or a King's Row poster or something was switched out for that. So it looks like what's going to happen is we're going to get the Cuba event. This will tie into Baptiste, because he's from, he's actually from Haiti, but the whole lead up to Baptiste was based around like that kind of region. So we're expecting that this is what it's going to be. So Archives Cuba, Hybrid Havana, and Engine Cinematic. Now, I think Engine Cinematic is talking about the in-game cinematics that we've seen. Remember, we've seen the Junkertown one, but obviously the most recent one was the Archives event from last year. So, that makes sense, right? There's nothing really huge so far that we've come across. In May, we get Anniversary event, 21st of May to June the 10th. Okay. Crossover Cosmetics, I think it's about time we actually got more of these, so I'm fine with that. But the first thing which is really interesting is we get this Focused Mercy Pass. Now, Mercy, like, when I spoke to Jeff, we know that Mercy had some, Jeff was happy with Mercy. I actually said to Jeff, I think she's kind of okay. But then there have been other posts from Jeff Goodman where that maybe they might look at increasing Mercy's healing. So the fact that they were talking about that is consistent with this document, because if they're looking at rolling out some changes to Mercy in May, then, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because remember, these guys have been working a few months in advance. So anything they said to us like last month, they're actually 2 or 3 months in advance, which is really cool. So, yeah. And then there seems to be like a blank spot. I mean, you'll notice throughout this document there are blank spots where some things are left out, and I guess that's just because they haven't finished working on what they're doing, or maybe they move stuff around. I mean, it does say not final, so, I mean, yeah. All right, so then we go on to June, and we've got this is where we're starting to see things which might possibly change the game. So this here, a 222 PTR trial, I mean, that straight up just says they're going to introduce 222 Metalock on the PTR as a queue. That could be huge, right? That could change the game. I reckon if you went back in time and you said to the devs, what would you have done differently at the start of Overwatch? They probably would have enforced this straight away, so the game was actually playable. So that's funky. We also get this quick play rule set. Now, I don't know, but I think this could be something to do with actually making the competitive rule set quick play. but you play without SR, right? So that gives you a way of actually preparing yourself for competitive instead of messing around in quick play. And maybe the original quick play mode gets, moved back to something else. I don't know. That's funky. Let me get this. Dev social activations. I don't know what that is. I mean, that's probably... I mean, if you remember what they did the other month, they had it was like a dev Q&A that they did. I don't think it was very popular, but I think that's what that kind of is. So most likely, I mean, hell, maybe they want to start talking, in terms of interviews again and stuff like that with the community. That could be what that is. I don't know. So then we go forward to Q3. So this is July, August, and September. And like I said, guys, this is actually, it's quite a detailed document when you look at it from the whole perspective, where it gives us these are obviously the things they're aiming for. It doesn't go into detail into what they are, but you can kind of work out based off the names of these bullet points what things actually, probably are. So in July, we get core support pass. Now, I think this is where they just look at rebalancing supports, and when they look at rebalancing DPS. If you look at the history of Overwatch, they've done this a lot. They actually did this last year. They did a big support pass, which actually made the supports much better. The thing is, though, Overwatch has got crazy power creep. So what you end up seeing is things change really, well, a lot. I mean, if you look at Soldier changed a hell of a lot in the past, and he was too powerful. The funny thing is now he's kind of back at that level, but it's fine because everybody else is stupidly powerful. So I think that's probably what that is for. Why is this? Unable to sync? Oh. Is my internet gone down? Probably. That's unlucky. Preferred role. Here we go. This is where we're getting big. We're getting huge now. So preferred role. This has to be this. Now, well, hang on. This could be two things, right? This could be role select in queue, or it could be you can display what your preferred role is. Now, this has to be between tank, DPS, support. Maybe it goes into even more detail. So you get off tanks, you get like projectile DPS, flanker DPS. We don't know. But the very fact that this is mentioned here, preferred role, shows that this is probably going to be integrated into the game. And honestly, this could be huge. I mean, preferred role and the 222 from below down here, why has that got fat again? Why does this get super fat? What's going on? I think those are massive for the game. Then we get this, right? Now, this confused me at first. I was like, what the hell is this social walk? Well, there was an interview that was conducted with some of the developers out in Korea last year. And they said that the current phase of the social system they're in is the crawl phase. So I think it makes sense that the next phase is social walk. Now, I don't know what this means. I have literally no idea what this means. I don't think we're going to get guilds, because they've said in the past that guilds are something they'd want to do across Battle.net and not specifically just do for Overwatch. So I don't know. I would like guilds, but hey. Let me get this. Look at this. Major Mercy Pass. So what is really interesting me here is there's a lot of specific stuff actually for Mercy. It's almost as if they intentionally change Mercy just to get reactions out of like the community. I don't know. I mean, that's being cynical. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Okay, so we go on to August. It looks like a pretty light month. We've got summer games, and the dates for that apparently the 6th to the 27th. Fine. And then we get Omnic Rights. Now, Omnic Rights, I'm sort of like, what is going on there? Now, if you remember back to last year, in August, they had the Diva Cinematic. So I'm thinking that possibly that's what this is. This could be, finally, could it be, ladies and gentlemen, is my pen got fat? No. Could it finally be Zen Law? Possibly one of the coolest characters in the entire game who has no law. It could be some sort of cinematic for that. It seems odd. Like Omnic Rights, it seems really odd. It seems like the name for something. I mean, it could be the start of a new story arc with the Omnics. I don't know. But yeah, that's August. One thing I noticed as well is if you really zoom in on these logos, like you can see that says 2016 there. So it's almost as if like, why haven't they updated the logos? That's a bit weird. I mean, I presume this might say the same as well. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so in September, again, another huge change. So, I mean, look at this. We get the PTR, the 222 PTR trial there. We get the preferred role above. And then we get this SR rework seasonal MMR reset. Now, at first, when I read this, I was like, okay, so they're going to let us reset our MMR every season. What's the point of that? Well, actually, it gives you the thrill of leveling up again, doesn't it? Because right now, there is no point to seasons in Overwatch because you end the season and you play 10 games pointlessly for placement, where they don't really change anything, because you basically start your placement games off where you ended last season. So if you were 3.5k, you start off at 3.5k. If you lose all your games, then you'll probably be placed in Diamond. If you win them all, you'll be back in Master. If you win half of them and lose half of them, you'll probably be in like Master. It's crap, right? So that's actually pretty huge, because it means we all start again every season, and I think that's going to bring players back, because there's nothing worse than like playing in a season. Maybe you have a bad season, maybe you're in Platinum, but next season you get a chance to come back, and maybe you can then place better and just, you know, honestly, that's so cool. Then we get this sort of role system. So if we go from preferred role above and then we come down to role system, it looks like actually September is a really huge month for Overwatch, because they seem to be trying to fix or at least implement all of these changes. I mean, competitive version 3, like, I think the version of competitive we're in right now is V2, because version 1 was during the closed beta, and it was actually a full team. It was full 6v6 competitive. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I think it's... Oh, it's mouse wheel. I didn't know that mouse wheel did that. That's so cool. But I think that what we're in is we're in V2 right now. So this is V3, because V1 was the very early version of it, where it was full team-based and all of that stuff. And then we got into this dynamic queue system we've got now, but then it looks like we're getting these reworks. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what's actually put there, if anything. But it looks like September is actually a huge month for this game and could save the game. All right, let's go forward to Q4. So this is where we get into the meat, the end of the year, and this is where we'd expect to see some actual like big announcements. So in October, we get Halloween. So this must be Halloween Terror. October the 10th to November the 1st. That's pretty consistent with dates anyway. I mean, October the 31st is it October the 31st? Yeah. Whenever Halloween is, so that's fine. Positive community outreach. This made me laugh when I read this at first, because it's like, what is this? I think this is a result of the changes down below, and even like this preferred role and all of this stuff, where they're suddenly going to come out and be like, hey guys, we've fixed the game. Now they full well know this is what people have been asking for. So it's really funny to me that we see this as like, hey, now we're going to come out and be like, let's do a bunch of interviews and be like, hey guys, this was so cool, man. The game's saved. I think this is planned. Honestly, I'm being quite cynical here, but I think this is planned. Almost like to bump interest into the game just before November, because we all know November is a critical month. All right, then we get this. This made me laugh, right? Junkenstein's Revengeance. Now, this is like, okay, Junkenstein's Revenge has been the same thing forever, which is crap. There were some little changes to it, I suppose. We could play different heroes, but nothing really major. This could be version 2 of this event, and this could actually signal we are starting to get actual new different events instead of the same old rehashed crap that nobody likes, and actually stops people playing the game. So this, Junkenstein's Revengeance, honestly, sign me up for that. That could be mental. All right, let's go down. So November, this is the biggie. This is BlizzCon. You can see it's BlizzCon. They've even gone and put the handy little logo. It's kind of nice how they've done this, actually, put the little logos on. And again, look, that's not been updated. That's still Year of the Pig. Although I probably haven't designed a logo for that just yet. So, yeah, then, yeah, whatever. We get to see that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, so look at this. Huge. Free to play. So they've got it listed as free to play in November. This makes sense with changing competitive, positive community outreach that was above up here, and then suddenly they hit us with this massive bomb, free to play. Because what does this do? This increases the player numbers, right? Player numbers will just go like astronomical. People will start downloading the game. It's free. Because remember, Overwatch is like a $40 game, or is it like $50? I don't know. I know it goes on offer quite a lot, but this is huge, right? That's actually huge, that is. Oh my god, that is actually huge. Game Viewer. Now, this, I think, is the World Cup Viewer, but for everybody. Now, I expect that this will be out possibly in the next few months for Overwatch League. It might even be out for Stage 2, although I believe it might just be for internal use only. So that means only the teams can use it, not actually use it for public stuff. And then as the months go by, we'll start seeing it for Overwatch League. And then ultimately in November, we'll see it for everybody, where you can look at your replays of your games, you can jump in it. That is just huge, right? And again, all these massive changes are very much in line with this free-to-play push, which could push the game well back up to like having a good player base again. Then we get this, Talon Tank 32. Now this is like, okay, take it with a pinch of salt. Talon Tank 32. We do know that Echo is not Hero 32 because of some of the things the devs have said. So that's like okay. I mean, it could change. Echo might be Hero 32. Echo might be Talon. I doubt that because Echo looked like she was friendly with McCree. We don't really know. But the fact that it's a tank is consistent with the fact that we haven't had a new tank for a while. So yeah, that's fine. What the hell is this though? I have no idea what Overwatch Tactics is. I think this could be... Could this be a new game? Could this be a mobile game? It's BlizzCon, right? They tend to do this at BlizzCon, if anything, last year's to go by. I don't know about this, but we do know that they're working on Overwatch franchise games. So, yeah, could be a mobile game. I don't know. All right. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think about that. Then we're moving to December. Now, December is typically kind of a slow month because everybody at Blizzard just goes on holiday, which is unfortunate. But we do get Winter Wonderland, and it just says winter. It gives us the dates of it. Yep. But then it does say this. This is an interesting little note here. Multi-platform PTR. I think this is console. I think this is console PTR, guys. Because why would they put multi-platform? I mean, they haven't specifically said PS4, Xbox. I mean, what about Switch? I mean, there's no Switch version of the game. Maybe this is a Switch game. Who knows, right? But this is really funky, right? To actually have got my hands on this document is so funky. Okay, let me just take a drink because it's a lot to take in. This is, even though I've read through this once, it's a lot to take in. All right, so we go to 2020 now. So remember, if the game's free to play now, we've got a new updated competitive system. We've got new heroes. We've got the start of new events, it looks like. And possibly some form of mobile game, which is like, whatever. All right, we get Lunar New Year. Fine. I think the dates with that are consistent with Lunar New Year. Core Tank Pass. Now, this is similar to the Core Support Pass we've seen earlier on. And in fact, you can see in February, look, there's a Core DPS Pass. So it looks like what they do is they've got set months where they just look at completely messing up the meta just to artificially get people to come back and play the game. And me being cynical again, it makes sense, right? Because if you come in and you make these massive sweeping changes to heroes, you get all the YouTubers making videos, you get people talking about the game again, streamers come back to check out heroes that they might have played before, so it makes sense that they do this, right? No details are obviously given, but yeah, the fact that they're saying Core Tank Pass, DPS and Support Pass, I think it's quite clear to me. This, though, what the hell is this? Mumbani? It's like Numbani and Mumbai. That must be a map, right? I mean, you can see here as well, look, there's another map there in April, Istanbul. I mean, we'll get onto that in a second because that's obviously part of the Archives event, and they do seem to release maps with that. Remember, we had Rialto last year. It looks like we're getting Havana this year. Then we're going to get Istanbul next year, which I think actually, isn't that to do with White Dome? I think somewhere in the lore there's something to do with White Dome, which was an old mission. Anyway, Mumbai. There's no map in India, so this is actually quite nice, right? Type of map, I don't know. Doesn't say, it just says Mumbai. Maybe they've not decided on what type of map it is. Probably a control map, to be fair. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Here we get another massive one. Look at this. Tournament system. That must be in-game. It must be like StarCraft 2, right? StarCraft 2 is an amazing in-game tournament system. If this is what that is, then that is huge, right? That is actually huge. Okay, then we go into March. We get HitScan AI 33. Now, this could be Echo, right? I mean, AI. Echo's AI. Echo's a robot. So, HitScan. So, it's a DPS. So, it would make sense that we're going to go from tank to DPS. But, yeah. This, though, makes me laugh. Look at this. Spread Balance Pass. Now, this must be where they just... I mean, we're kind of in this right now. A lot of changes on PTR happened in March. I know it's April now, obviously, but a lot of changes happened in March, and they were kind of all over the place, right? They were for like DPS, they were for tanks, just for literally everyone, right? And there was loads of bug fixes and all kinds of mad stuff. So that must just be where they take a shotgun approach and go, let's just change all of this and see what happens. Again, just to get people to come back and play the game, probably. All right, so let's take a look at the final notes here. And yeah, so we've got Archives Omnicode. Now, I think Omnicode is the language the Omnics speak. Apparently, this is tied into Istanbul because that's a map. Or at least I think that's a map. I mean, why would they just write Istanbul? It's got to be a map. So something goes on with the Omnics in Istanbul. We know Istanbul is White Dome territory because of the lore. And then we get another engine cinematic, which again, it would make sense because that's what they do with the Archives event. Ooh, that is funky, right? I mean, these events are cool because we know that they're new every year. Okay, then we go on to May. We get look at this. What the hell is that? Oh, that actually kind of went over it. Right, look at that. Prime expansion. So we get the dates for the anniversary event, which actually, are they the same as the anniversary event? I never actually checked that. No, they're not. Look, 21st to the 10th. 26th to the 15th. I imagine that's probably to line up with Tuesdays. Anyway, what the hell is this? What the hell is Prime Expansion? maybe, right, if it's free to play, they suddenly lose their revenue. Because there's no mention here of changing the way the game, they change the loot box system. So maybe if they keep the loot box system, pump up the player figures, a few months later, suddenly they drop a Prime expansion, which you probably have to pay for, right? $40 expansion? It's probably more than that, right? That would make sense. What would that be? I have no idea what that could be. That's interesting. And then into June, we get Rewards V2. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's competitive rewards. Maybe it's just different stuff in the game because of this Prime expansion thing. Or maybe this isn't Prime expansion. Maybe this is Prime the expansion. So get ready for expansion. So maybe this is like they seed with like lore and stuff. What do you think? That's not a question mark. What do you think? That could be cool. Social Run. I don't know what. Oh no, Social Run. I know what that is because that would be like what we had way back over here with the Social Walk. So now it's the run phase. So whatever that is, we're going to get that in June. And then we get this final one here, Ladder Split. Now, I don't know. That must be like solo queue team ladder and stuff like that. I don't know. That's funky. What I'll do, guys, is I'll put a link to this in the video description because I'd imagine a lot of people are going to want to take a look at this in detail. I know the date and I know yada yada and all that stuff, but there is a link to this in the video description. If you guys click on that, you can check it out. But yeah, that could be huge. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylos and this is Unit Lost. If you guys enjoyed the video, then like the video and could be a bright future for Overwatch, actually. Catch you guys in the next one. Toodaloo.